What's going on? What's going on? We back, Goodfellas Sports TV. I appreciate everybody for jumping on today. Much blessings to everybody out there, man. Putting in that work. The second live stream been doubling up lately, but hey, that won't happen for too much longer. Just got the time, and we gonna get it in. We can get it in at yeah, for sure. So just still trying to get comfortable. B Howard salute. What else we got in here? Heath 5 salute. Um, and whoever else fall up in the building, most definitely, man. Y'all see the topic we talking about. Basically what is pay per view become in 2018 in the recent years, and what it should be. Okay, so it won't be a super long stream, but um, just basically giving y'all the definition of what pay per view is and what it should be. All right. Also, don't forget check out the Hellblaze, our sponsor, at thehellblaze.com. That website is in the description as far as the promo code Goodfella1 Boxing, where you get 18% off. That promo code is in the description with the website, lotion, soaps, bath bombs, everything all natural. Go check them out. As well as check out the Patreon. Um, I uploaded the Pacquiao Broner um, prediction video 5 days early, so you can check it out. I usually upload them on Monday. I upload it Wednesday. I upload the Badu Jack and Marcus Brown prediction video Saturday. So if you join the Patreon, you get early access to my fight predictions and raw and uncensored content, boxing related. It's only $2 a month. Boxing related tier is very raw, uncensored. Things I can say on there where I can't say on YouTube, and also we got a food for thought tier where talk about relationships and stuff that I talk about in the food for thought, workplace stuff. So I uploaded it. It got hood series in there as well too. I moved the hood series to that tier as well. So check it out, that tier as well. But yeah, pretty much pay per view in 2018 is basically a fight where the networks can't afford it, okay? Because a lot of these fighters have been overcompensated, right? They've been overcompensated. So a fight that usually that can happen between, let's say, Margarito and Paul Williams back in the day. Now, if it was Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, let's just say, play the other side, and it wouldn't be a budget there. Both of them guys are probably getting $4 or $5 million, including back end money. The base pay is probably 3 million, 3.5. They might be getting 4, 5 million on the back end. So the network can accommodate that. They're not going to give you $10 million. And don't forget, the promoter got to get his cut. Okay, they got to get their cut. And how that work is, it works like, okay, all right, we give you $4 million a piece. Let's just say hypothetically, we give $2 million a piece for Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence to fight. All right, let's say Errol Spence, Keith Thurman. Let's keep that there. We give you $2 million a piece, all right? So we give you, let's say we give $3 million a piece. I'm just giving a hypothetical. $6 million. What the promoter do is he'll give two to Errol Spence, two to Keith Thurman. He'll probably spend, let's say, $500,000 on the undercard. He'll pocket the rest of it, right? So MM Sports Talk, Silent Child, what's going on? So that's what happens. See, the promoter get his money before the fighters even take a punch or throw a punch in training camp. He take his off the top. So now you see why Bob Arum's and Top Rank's undercard suck so bad. Now you know why, because Bob Arum is taking that money off top. He's not putting it into the card. See, the network pays for the main event. The promoter pays for the undercard. Yeah, he was overhand. So that's what you got to look at. So that's why Bob Arum cards be so frugal, because he paying for the undercard. He'll tell you nobody care about an undercard. And he's talking about casual fans. The casual fans don't care about an undercard. Actually, the hardcores care about a good undercard. But you got to remember, especially when you're talking about undercards on ESPN, Showtime, Fox, you want to have a retention rate. You want to retain audience. So the audience can stick on and carry over to the main event. Especially if you want them dudes like Eddie Hearn that throws 1,000 undercard fights. You want to retain audience. But pay-per-view is basically fights they can't afford on network television. So they say it on pay-per-view, or they not willing to pay for it. That's what it is. Oh, I don't want to pay for Leo Santa Cruz, Gary Russell on my network. We just take it to pay-per-view. Okay, pay-per-view is a second, is upper echelon, second tier, third tier fight. See, we're used to getting fourth and fifth tier fights, and people don't know it. Okay, that's what you're getting, fourth and fifth tier fights. Okay, Danny Garcia versus Sean Porter, that wasn't a first rate fight. That wasn't a second rate fight. That's a third or fourth tier fight, because look, a first tier fight would be Crawford, Errol, Crawford, Thurman, or it'd be Thurman, Errol Spence. However, those are the first two tier fights in the welterweight division. Okay, so now after them two fights, then you're talking about everything is third, fourth, fifth rate. That's not involving in those basically those three fighters. So basically, what they want you to pay for is second, third, and fourth rate fights. Let me say fourth rate fights. That's what pay-per-views come to. When the network is not willing to pay the money, they can't afford the money, then they send it to pay-per-view. Okay, a la Wilder and Fury. You heard Stephen Espinoza say we can't afford that fight. We couldn't pay out what they deserve for that fight, so it had to go to pay-per-view. In essence, was it a pay-per-view? Absolutely not. It shouldn't have been a pay-per-view. But Tyson Fury was taking a risk. He want to get paid. Wilder want to get paid. So everybody want to get that bread, want to get that moolah. Manny Pacquiao, Adrian Broner is not a pay-per-view. It's a pay-per-view because it's off the strength of Manny Pacquiao. It's off the strength of Manny Pacquiao. Adrian Broner is probably the second most popular fighter in America, American-wise, outside of Mexico and whoever they will have in Canada, which I don't think will be more popular than Adrian Broner. Okay, so that's pretty much where it comes to. It comes down to second, third, fourth tier fights. That's for premium dollar. And now if you look at it, they ain't really reducing pay-per-view prices. You know what I'm saying? I heard that Wilder and Joshua was going to be at a possible reduced pay-per-view price. That was a lie, because Fury and Wilder went for the 75 ball. So in essence, that's what pay-per-view is when the network is not willing to put the money up for a fight, or the fighters, the fighters, they can't accommodate the fighters. They can't accommodate the money, or they don't want to put the money up for the fight. So basically, if Showtime have seven fights towards the end of the year, let's just say they have 7 fight cards towards the end of the year, and it's not in the budget, but Mikey and Earl wanted to fight, and they got a fight day, they just ain't gonna put the money up. Want to put the money up for it, go to pay-per-view. Now, what pay-per-view actually should be is elite fights. Pay-per-view should be elite fights. Pay-per-view should be Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, Joshua and Wilder. It should be premium, creme de la creme of the fights, Roger Salute. That's what pay-per-view should be. Pay-per-view should be elite fights versus elite competition. That's what we talking about, elite fights. That's what it is. It shouldn't be a stat card of mismatches and just names. One heavy stack of cards, all names, other side, all mismatches. We want a competitive fight where we really can't tell who's gonna win. That's what the pay-per-view should be. It shouldn't be because Canelo was a name and he could fight Rocky Field, and I'm not saying it was on pay-per-view, but it wasn't. Salute. Elite fights should be fights that fans want to see and is willing to pay for. Pay-per-view fights, excuse me. That's what people want. People don't mind paying $75 for Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather because they built it up. People want to see elite fights. They want to see 1 versus 2. If not, they want to see a guy moving up that was elite fighting another guy that's elite of his weight class. That's what it's about, elite fights. Is that too hard to ask? I don't think so. We want to see elite fights, and pay-per-views should be elite. It should be 1 versus 2. And if 1 and 2 ain't available, then it should go on regular network television. It should be The Super Bowl of boxing. That's the best way I could put it. It should be the Super Bowl of boxing. Or at least it should be, okay, not to be so broad. It should be the Super Bowl of a division. Yep. It should be the Super Bowl of a division. Nah, I mean, I wouldn't consider, I don't know, I wouldn't consider Spence and Garcia a pay-per-view. But I understand it. I don't think Spence or Garcia is pay-per-view worthy, but I understand it. But I wouldn't pay for it. I go to it, but I wouldn't pay for it. Jerome one, salute. But that's what a pay-per-view should be. It should be elite fights. Super Bowl of a division, or Super Bowl of boxing for guys that want to move up and challenge themselves, like Mikey Garcia. He wants to move up and challenge Errol Spence. I don't mind that being pay-per-view. I don't. I understand it, but in actuality, does it make you think of the other pay-per-views? Holyfield, Tyson 1? No. Does it make you think De La Hoya, Floyd? No. Floyd Pacquiao? No. We talking about real elite pay-per-view fights. Elite. If a pay-per-view can't do $1 million, and if it isn't projected to do $1 million, it shouldn't be on pay-per-view. If it's not going to come close to doing $1 million, it shouldn't be on pay-per-view. Real talk. I don't care what the turnover profit rate is. Matter of fact, if you can't go on Showtime and do $1 million, if you can't go on HBO and do $1 million, if you can't go on ESPN and at least do $3 million, how the fuck you think you're gonna do on pay-per-view? How you gonna go on pay-per-view? Let's take that conversation a little bit deeper. How you gonna go on pay-per-view, right? How can we go on pay-per-view? What's up, Lamont? And you can't even do $1 million on Showtime. Now, doing $1 million on Showtime is hard, but Deontay Wilder did it. He did $1 million on pay-per-view. Q-Tips a little. King on Hood, Texas. What's going on? Deontay Wilder did it, but guess what? This nigga did $325K pay-per-view. Now, again, they failed him as far as marketing. They didn't really market that fight after the press tour. It was no real market. They show a promo. You know what I'm saying? There's no seeing Deontay Wilder in sports drinks commercials. No seeing them with Under Armour. Like, real talk, how can you be a heavyweight title holder in America and you don't have a brand? You don't have a brand. You don't have a deal with Under Armour. You don't have a deal. He might have a deal with Everlast, but they don't have a deal with Nike, Reebok. Shit, Fila. Fila should be looking for athletes in Puma. We're not Puma boxing shoes. Puma's relaunching their boxing. Their basketball. Why not Puma? Why not New Balance? They launched a new basketball shoe as well. Why shouldn't they get into the boxing world? And it'd be smart for some of them shoe companies to get into the boxing world. Because you can really get them dudes, Will Book salute. You really can get them dudes for super cheap. Real talk. You really can get them dudes for super cheap. You don't have to pay Deontay Wilder what you pay LeBron James for a shoe deal. It's just, the link and association. Get the Puma name, work with PVC, get the New Balance name on the canvas, get them to run in some PVC promos, some water promos. You know what I'm saying? Santiago Sports TV, salute. It shouldn't be that hard. So how are you pay-per-view when the majority of the population in your own country don't know you? And that's what they're supposed to do. Radio. I don't really listen to the radio no more, right? Not too much, but it's way more they could be doing and promoting this shit, man. It's way more. And I said this earlier, I went live in the morning. I don't know if I go live in the morning tomorrow, maybe. Okay. I said this in the morning, right? Hear me out. If you got I don't like coaches. I don't like boxing coaches being a manager. I don't like one guy having too much power in the camp. And look here, that's niggas' personal preference, right? Look here, that's people personal preference. If you want to have your coach or your mentor be your coach or your manager, look here, man. And it's real shit, man. You can screen record this. Alex Santos, salute. And I'll answer that in a minute, Jackals. Give me a minute. Hold on to that question. How do you have a personal manager, but you don't have no, you don't have you don't have no brands. You don't have nothing. You're not in commercials. You're not in local car TV commercials. You're not with Under Armour. You're not linked up with Gatorade. You're not doing no appearances. You're not doing nothing. How do you have a personal manager? What does he do? He just book fights? What the fuck Al Heyman for then? Al Heyman, I understand, draws up the financial deals. He's the guy that's the advisor. He advises over the contract. He's the number guy. Okay, that's what he does. You know, he's the numbers guy. But if you got a personal manager, all your personal manager is, it sound like for PBC fighters, it sound like your matchmaker, and that goes for other fighters as well. You know, if I got a personal manager in boxing, and this nigga ain't got me no other income coming in, bro, like no other income. We not investing in real estate. We not in Apple commercials. We not in local TV car commercials. We ain't in local sofa commercials. If we ain't in special guest appearances on TV, if you ain't really elevating my brand and elevating my notoriety, what the fuck do I got you for? Oh yeah, for sure, Corey Lee. Let me know. Hit me up. You got my number. Same number, ain't changed. Angel 313, what's going on? Yeah, Tank got an Under Armour deal because they from Baltimore. But when the last time you see him in a commercial? Even Canelo, he might be in Under Armour commercials in Mexico. But this is Viva America. You know what I'm saying? So what do you got a personal manager for? To help pick your fights? Nigga, you can pick your own fights. You know what I'm saying? You can pick your own fights. You giving a motherfucker 10, 15%, 20% in some cases. For what? What is he doing? Look here, man. If you taking money from me, real talk. If you taking money from me, you ain't bringing shit to the table. You ain't bringing more money in. You can't be here. Look at your coach. Your coach is giving you game to make more money. Okay. Look at your promoter. He give you opportunities to make money. You know, look at your cut man. He making sure you got an opportunity to go and continue to fight, to continue to making money. Your manager, he just help you pick your fights out. Come on, for what? I can pick my own fights. So I got a manager on top of a manager. Like a lot of these dudes get milked. They get milked. You better off letting your brother be a manager. Real talk. You better off letting your brother, your sister be a manager, or your pops be a manager. At least you're keeping the money in the family. If my manager ain't teaching me how to triple, double my money up, he ain't teaching me how to save my money. He ain't going out there getting me in commercials. He ain't out here boosting my notoriety out here. You know, if I can still walk through Times Square and niggas don't know who I am as a fighter, and I got 2, 3 belts, a belt, what do I need you for? What are you actually doing but pity pinching off my bag, but stealing money from me? You see that shit with Tekashi 6ix9ine? Nigga had a deal where the distributor sent him 1.6. They only gave that nigga 200, 300,000. His manager kept the rest. I mean, what is these dudes doing? Deontay Wilder, heavyweight champion of the world, bro. Heavyweight champion of the world. Cool man said, man, you ain't shit, bro. Cook, manager, and trainer. I ain't gonna say no names, bro. You know, I'm gonna go back to Jackal's question. He said, "How many buys do you think Pacquiao Broner gonna do?" I expect to do more than Broner. I'm gonna say around 500,000, 600,000. Okay, so I'm just saying, right? What is your job as a manager? Because the promoter, I believe, books the hotels. He makes the flight accommodation. So what is the manager doing? Because if you with Al Heyman, he gonna send, you know, the Sam Watson and his sons to make sure you don't want for nothing. That's what the Watsons do. You know, when they at the fights, they make sure, like real talk, it's no joke. I seen an interview. Okay. And one of the twins used to be in the farm system in MLB. Okay. What they do is they make sure you don't have no worries. If your baby mama says she wants you to go pick up the baby and they need to babysit, the Watsons will do that. You know, if you need to make accommodations to get to the nail shop to make sure your feet good on fight night so they ain't hurting, they make that happen. You know, your mama needs some lotion at the hotel room. They make sure the fighter is comfortable and don't want for nothing. So what do I need a personal manager for? That's what I want to know. Because if I was some of these BBC fighters, bro, and I have a personal manager, Frank Williams, salute. If I I mean, at the end of the day, you got Al Heyman. Don't forget that. Al Heyman does all that. He crunched the numbers. He get the venue numbers. Al Heyman is a manager, advisor. That advisor management shit is he does that. He's already showing these dudes how to invest their money and double their bank and all that. He's also getting these dudes money on the back end like they pay-per-view fighters. So all they do is pick your fighters. That's what it sounds like. All they do is sound like they pick your fights. That's it. That's all managers do. They pick your fights. They just sound like glorified matchmakers. My brother could pick my fights. To this day. To this day. To this day. Shit, your little sister could pick your fights. You give her the bag. Put it into a high interest saving account. Real talk. What you need these managers don't be doing shit. How much you think Spence versus Pacquiao gonna do? I don't even think that fight gonna happen, bro. I heard Floyd coming back. He coming back for that fight, bro. But I think it's gonna do 700,000. It depends. I gotta see what Braun and Pacquiao do. And Mikey Earl. I plan on going to Mikey Earl, but I don't know. Who you referring to? I can't say Terrence Crawford, Bo Mac trainer name. But like I said before, I'm not saying no names. I didn't say Bo Mac name. Okay. Right. It's Ward. Man, Ward need to just retire, bro. He ain't coming back. This nigga around here asked for $10, $15 million. He always rabbit out of mine. They've been crossing paths at the LA Miami game. That's how the first fight happened. Floyd caught him at the Heat game, but like I said before, these dudes got managers for what? Man, these dudes could be saving bank. Now, if my manager, my daddy, or my manager, my brother, my sister, my significant other, someone, I wouldn't mix money and honeys. I learned that a long time ago. Don't do that. Don't mix your money with your honeys, wife or not. Okay. If I'm cool with that, but all I'm paying a manager to do, a personal manager to do, is what? Nothing. This nigga getting a check for nothing. They might do small things, but I'm talking about what is you actually bringing to the table. I mean, if I lose Al Heyman as my advisor / manager, I lose a lot. If I lose my coach and my coach is pretty good, I lose a lot. Hey, my brother can find the sparring partners. That ain't shit. Al Heyman can get you some sparring partners. Sam Watson can get you some sparring partners. That's a good point you're bringing up. That ain't essential. All that little shit you're doing, you can teach a nigga to go find them. You can really teach somebody to go find sparring partners. You can teach somebody to do all that. Al Heyman is doing the hard part, drawing the contracts out. All them niggas doing is matchmaking and I guess hiring sparring partners. Oh, salute, Damo. Yeah, I ain't doing that shit every day. I ain't got time. Drake might be with Al Heyman. Al Heyman check. Yeah, Al Heyman do concerts. I might go to Spence Garcia, but I might bring a weapon just in case. Part of my family is from Texas. We know how the Mexicans get when they drunk. I'm telling you, one hitter quitter, bro. I'm gonna be close to the floor though, man. I'm trying to get Callie to go out there with me. But I might just meet Carl down there, you know. See if Carl want to get some tickets, man. If he going, we can sit. I might get Carl a ticket, bro. CB Sports TV. I might see if I cop 2 tickets, man. We just roll down there and chill out. But a few people I know going down there. That's if I go. I plan on going. I don't think Canelo can make that weight, bro. Yeah, I want to see Charlo and Hurt again. Yeah, that got to happen. Period. Charlo and Harrison, my bad. That got to happen. But like I said before, man, a lot of these dudes don't need these personal managers. Alpha Player, what's going on? I would love for Madonna to beat the Pez out of Canelo. Man, that nigga heavyweight right now. We talking about Madonna and Wilder. We talking about Madonna and Wilder, bro. A-side treatment. Watson brothers are a great situation to be in. Mm-hmm. They say knew Al Heyman since they was kids. So him and Sam go way back to the music business. Do so now, salute. But yeah, pay-per-view is what it is now is fights that the network ain't willing to pay for or pay up for. And like I said before, if you're not doing if you're not doing $1 million, if you're not doing 1 million viewerships on your network, how can you be a pay-per-view star? Because Wilder had the highest viewership for Showtime and still did 325K. So if you're not doing 1 million viewership on your network in Showtime, and I say on HBO, you would have to do, even though they dead right now. I heard they're gonna be doing fights here and there. Still, if they want to bid on certain fights. If you're not doing, especially talking about two fighters, you're not doing 3 or 4 million on HBO, right? On regular HBO. If you're not doing 3 or 4 million on ESPN, these numbers is light compared to what HBO used to do back in the day. If you're not doing them 3 or 4 million, man, how can you go to pay-per-view? If you can't touch 1 million people on Showtime, how many people you think you're gonna touch on pay-per-view? You gotta look at those things. Real talk. How can you even say, oh, he's a pay-per-view star? Now, if you got two guys that I guess you think can make a good story, but it's not even like ESPN and PPC put the effort into promoting these guys. So I find it hard to believe that dudes can't even do 1 million. I don't think Errol Spence have done 1 million viewerships on Showtime yet, and I could be wrong. I know the Kell Brook fight didn't touch 1 million. I know the Campbell fight touched like 900,000. Not sure what the Peterson fight touched, but I'm talking about, bro. If you're a pay-per-view star, you should be reaching over a couple million people, 1 million people on Showtime now. Showtime don't have the viewership that HBO got. They don't have a subscriber base, right? So the numbers are gonna be different on what you should do on HBO. Now, HBO back in the day, early 2000s, late 90s, after dark, boxing after dark, dudes was touching 8 to 10 million viewerships a night on Saturday nights. 8 to 10 million viewership. 8 to 10 million people was basically tuning in to Boxing After Dark on HBO. Fast forward today, like they lucky to get 2 or 3 million people to tune in on ESPN for one of their fights. They lucky to get 2 or 3 million on Fox for one of their fights. Look at that. That's the type of reputation HBO had for boxing. That was their rep. So how can we take dudes who can't even reach 1 million people and put them on pay-per-view? So something is fucked up. The pay scale is fucked up here. I'm not sure it did 1 million viewership. I think it was 900,000. Let me double check. And I apologize if I'm getting these numbers. But I don't think he's touched over 1 million, bro. On Showtime. Now on NBC he touched over 6 million, but that was because he was on after the gold medal round for basketball. But let me see. Give me a minute. Hold on. No, that motherfucker say it averaged about 726K. It peaked at 726K and averaged. Let me see what the average was. It peaked at 726K. 26K. The average audience was 683,000. Let me see what the Peterson fight did. Yeah, these dudes not hitting 100 million on pay-per-view. I think the only guy to hit 1 million, 1 million on regular Showtime was Deontay Wilder. Spence and Peterson peaked at under 700,000. It averaged 637K. Okay, now we see what Mikey Garcia numbers been doing. Now give me a minute. I ain't looking at the chat, so if I miss something, I'll catch it. Okay. Let me see. Okay, that peaked under 1 million viewership. Mikey Garcia did 937K. They drew an average audience of 881,000. Okay. Who he just fight? Easter? It averaged 680,000 viewerships. Okay, you want to do Lipinets? You want to do Lipinets? Let's do Lipinets. 618,000 it averaged. Now, let me see what it peaked at. It peaked at 689,000. Okay, so we talking about guys that's not cracking 1 million viewerships on Showtime. So how can we put guys who can't do 1 million viewerships on Showtime on pay-per-view? Even Deontay Wilder was doing 1 million on NBC and stuff. That's how Wilder came up fighting on free TV. Okay? So you got to remember, this scale has to be curved for Showtime because Showtime doesn't have a subscriber base that HBO had. They're not an accessible free network like Fox or Premier Boxing Champion. So we talking square business, man. We talking square business. You know? But like I said before, you know, how can you do under 1 million? How can you do under 1 million but go to pay-per-view? It's not adding up. Guys are being overcompensated. They're not being compensated based on what they bring into the table. They're not. You know? So that's what happens when you overpay motherfuckers, man. Man, boxing ain't going nowhere. We have ups and downs. F it. Yeah, basically. So how can we not crack 1 million? How can we not crack 1 million? Right? How can we not crack 1 million? But we going to pay-per-view. It don't make no sense. How am I expected to get notoriety if, for one, you're not going to promote me? Two, I don't have no accessibility. How? How is that going to work? But they banking on the casual fan too. Trying yourself to Cowboys going to bring a lot of casuals is that they banking on. But they pretty much promoting on Fox, but it's not gonna be enough. It's not gonna be enough to get your average fan to spend $75. It's not gonna be enough. They're not trying to ease their way. They're not promoting it the right way. Now they might be promoting it in Texas, but how you not promoting it around America enough? Man, no, a lot of people don't know who Errol Spence is. I asked my barber, you know who Errol Spence is? He said no. You know who Terrence Crawford is? He said no. These should be guys that should be known. To be a success, to be honest, I don't know. I got to see what they're making first to know what a success is. But just my personal opinion, they got to do at least 700,000. CJ, salute to you and the whole chat. Angel Santos, what's going on? Smash the like button. Great post on Lubin. I agree. He needs to maybe move down to 147. Yep. They should do a 45, 50. Yeah, $30. I mean, Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson sold 1 million pay-per-view for $30 a pop, even though they refunded everybody because it was a glitch in the system. Casual fans are just not going to wait around for the marinating process. They don't care. You can't marinate something that you ain't promoting. That was at over here, not you, CJ. Oh, yeah, you good. You good. You know, but let me say this. If you ain't getting no accessibility on Showtime, right? And people don't see you on Showtime. I mean, how and then your promoter put you on pay-per-view, but they're not running no promos. They're not marketing you. You're not on TV commercials. Like, they don't start marketing a pay-per-view really until the week of the fight with promos. 700K is a lot. I doubt Mike can spend. Well, that's just a number. What's going on in the Quad Gang? Salute. I ain't talking about that guy right now, bro. I seen him. I don't even want to talk about that guy. But yeah, you know, I'm just saying, man, like how can these dudes not be doing 1 million but going to pay-per-view? Like, these dudes not even coming close. The closest we seen was Broner and Garcia, and that was 900,000. And then when these dudes was on Showtime, they was only doing 300,000 or 400,000 more. We talk about Broner 1.3, 1.4, maybe 1.5 at the most. Triple G, they do like 1.6 versus Vanez on Cinco de Mayo. We talk about that pathetic numbers, man. I told you, dude, that at one point, HBO After Dark was doing $8 to $10 million viewership. Now you wonder why HBO get out the game. You go from doing, what, 5 to 10 million average to doing barely 1 million? Like, nobody got time for that. Why didn't Showtime do all access for Porter Garcia? Because they don't want to spend the money. They're not really invested in boxing, bro. boxing is something that's basically like, okay, they don't care. They only had like 12 fight dates. You know, like 12 fight dates other than Showbox last year. 11, I think it was. That's not enough to accommodate what PBC, and plus PBC is milking the networks. Like, dude, if you do, they should have a pay scale. Like, if your average viewership is 600,000, then you should get that amount of money. Why are we paying guys $3 or $4 million, $2.5 million a fight when you only pulling 600,000 to Showtime? You know what I'm saying? Then you paying the dudes on the undercard. There ain't nobody watching it. 600,000, 700,000, 800,000, 900,000 is a joke. Exactly, Damo. All boxing need to be free to certain to further notice. You got to build these dudes up where it's accessible now. And how you can build them up on Showtime, right? You can build them up on Showtime, but you got to market them. You got to run promos on CBS. CBS should have a fight a month. Why not? Do a lot of Americans really watch some of that cheesy ass TV they got on there? Like two girls in a restaurant. What is it called? How popular can them TV shows be on CBS now? And Fox, other than Empire. I don't watch that shit, but how successful can they really be? How many dumbass Americans really tune in and watching that bullshit when you can have FX and get Snowfall, or you can get AMC and get The Walking Dead, or you can get AMC and get Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad, or you can go to HBO at one point in time and get The Wire, or you can get real TV. Not this cheesy ass TV they going on. So how much would it hurt CBS to put a fight on a month? But they refuse to put boxing back on CBS. Yeah, Two Broke Girls, whatever the hell them hoes call it. Al Hammond feel comfortable that, man. Fighters too comfortable with that. Al Hammond's a blessing and a curse. Yeah, he is a curse. You know, he is a curse to a certain extent because pretty much dudes really walking. Adrian Broner, let's talk about this. Adrian Broner really believes he's a Hall of Famer. Like, get the fuck up out of here. Adrian Broner is really talking about he a Hall of Famer. Get the fuck up out of here. So he already feel like he accomplished. A lot of these dudes feel like their resume is already accomplished. Like, really, when Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence and Thurman ain't really done shit. All these dudes either 30 or approaching 30. Sean Porter, he ain't done shit. And the real historians know that, man. Remember this, Sugar Ray Leonard was making $10 million a fight back in the 80s. That was before inflation. Like, dude, that's like 20 million right now. These dudes is making a 10% of that or 20% of that, whatever you want to say. These dudes really act like they secured, bro. They act like it's it, man. You got ball players making what you make in a month. You got Blake Griffin who makes $200 million over 5 years, bro. Over 200. So that's over $25 million a year average. Like, nigga, like it'll take AB, even if he getting $5 million to fight, it'll take AB like 20 years to make that. And Blake Griffin ain't getting punched upside the head. And 9 times out of 10, Blake Griffin gonna get probably $100 million contract for 3 years after that, if he's still healthy. You know what I'm saying? They're not even touching football player money, and football player money is pathetic. We talking about they make 75% less than the NBA, but the NBA makes 75% more than the NBA, but the NBA players make 200% more. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Khalil Mack got a record-breaking contract at $89 million guaranteed or $90 million guaranteed. Reggie Jackson for the Pistons, he makes guaranteed 83, 85, 86 million. He makes 86 million. Or something like that. In a less physical contact sport, in a sport that makes significantly less than the NFL, 70%, 75% less. So you think that these boxing niggas think they balling? For one, they not. AB 5'6", Reggie Jackson 6'4", and he never touched what Reggie Jackson made. Mayweather the only one that could feel like a real baller to a lot of them fighters, because guess what? He didn't touch over $1 billion, even though it didn't came and went. He didn't really say I didn't touch the billion by boxing. He had a little endorsement from Reebok, a little endorsement about the Hublot watch. That's it. And Burger King gave him an endorsement versus Manny Pacquiao. But he the only nigga that can ball on ball players. Anthony Joshua ain't making that. You know what I'm saying? Canelo Alvarez making some solid money, but he not making, he ain't even worth $500 million. John Wall next year gonna make $41 million next year. $41 million. Another $200 million type of contract. So these fighters happy with making $6 million a year, and that's before taxes. You got niggas out here that's making like $42 million a year. You got dudes that's making $10 million a year. You got dudes that's making $20 million a year. These niggas is really content with being 5'5", being midgets, and being they content with being local stars, because that's what they are. They local, and they might not be local stars in their hood. They content with this little bit of money they getting to them compared to other ball players. And if I'm a fighter, I'll be investing my money, man. I won't be buying no fucking jewelry. Especially like, nigga, you're not fucking Tom Brady. Tom Brady's wife makes more than him. She make like $400 million a year or some shit being a supermodel. So we know these niggas ain't pulling them type of girls. These niggas is 5'6", man, and happy with making a couple million, bro. When you can make so much more in this game. This game can have you make. We seen Floyd make $350 million in a night with promotional license and promotional cut and the fighters cut. This nigga made over $300 million almost in a fight. This nigga made what John Wall making a year, what he making 5 years. Wouldn't that make you want to be ambitious? I agree with that. I like Jerry Ennis. Wouldn't that make you want to be ambitious? And then again, the government don't tax your check until you pay it on the back end. So when you get through them checks, you get them full checks. You just take the money out yourself. I mean, Jerry Jones just spent $250 million on the yacht, bro. He just spent $250 million on a yacht. Ain't that motivation? And these boxers sit at home, get drunk, travel the world, go fight the fight. Possibly. I possibly think Tank could be a star. I don't know. Not the way he really rolling right now. But like I said before, like, dude, it's the sky's the limit in boxing. You can make as much as you want to. It's all about basically yourself. It's kind of like being a salesman. As a boxer, it's being a salesman. You should be trying to sell yourself to the fans and to the people. You don't think people see Floyd really getting that money? Like, dude, how did Floyd get that money? Floyd had a common opponent. But like I said before, these dudes don't want to get that money. Oh yeah, top 10 black fighters. That's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I gotta check that out. I seen the Asian fighter. I had to dip out though. But Slaw Boxer Talk, he say, you seen AB didn't miss the media work. I think he just got there. Yeah, they actually supposed to do it at a different gym. I think he's supposed to do it at 10 Goosen Gym. But they must have, and he agreed to come to 10 Goosen Gym. And then I guess he agreed to come down to the Wild Card Gym and do it. Because he's supposed to go to 10 Goosen Gym. Because he did agree to go to LA. But yeah, he got it, man. He just, like I said before, man. Ambition. These dudes don't have it. If these dudes were salesmen, these dudes would be fired. I remember I used to work at Finish Line in between college, right? I worked at Fairlane Shopping Center, Finish Line, right? It used to be in the middle of the mall, third level, I believe it was, or second level, one of the fucking levels, right? They ended up moving to the third level, across the Verizon at the top, right? I got fired from Finish Line, right? Because I didn't sell multiples. And multiples was like shoestrings. I didn't sell any accessories, but my shoe sales was one of the highest shoe sales in the store, right? They still fired me because I didn't sell multiples. That same day, my girlfriend broke up with me. That shit was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, these dudes would be fired because they wouldn't be selling no fucking multiples. They don't even sell the fight. It's up to the promoter. Yeah, the promoter only gonna do so much, but it is what it is. You mean to say that what was pay per view in 2018? Because it's you know what I meant, 19. But same shit, same shit. It's the same shit. It's the same shit from last year. It's the same shit. You know, that's just what it is. Pay per view ain't. It's just bullshit. And understand a lot of these dudes say we need to support these fighters, man. Man, these niggas need to start promoting. It's only a handful of hardcore boxing fans. It's only a handful of boxing fans. It's only a handful of us. So if the hardcore boxing fan was the biggest the casual population, then these fighters would be paid. But don't nobody care about no fucking boxing. People don't care about boxing. Only unless ESPN push it. You know? Unless they get them talk about Skip and Shannon talk about it. And they don't care about that shit. All people care about is the controversy in fights. And they don't have no controversy because these niggas is boring. So these niggas don't even have a fight poster on Instagram, bro. That's sad. Broner could have been that dude, man. I think that Madonna fight changed him. Depression, all. I mean, he was on the downfall before that fight, bro. He was on the downfall before that fight. You know, that was a dude. He had been looking bad versus Gavin Reese. He had got beat up by Daniel Ponce de Leon. He had been getting beat up. Paulo Malignaggi did him dirty. They just gave him a decision. But Madonna just wiped his dick in the dirt. Smushed it in the dirt. Well, it is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. You know, these dudes don't want to be ambitious no more, bro. They content with making a couple million. And I mean, I don't understand it, man. You can see, y'all can ask questions. I ask Q&A right now because I'm gonna log off in a minute. So as long as the Q&A go, but you can see Holyfield, who had made a lot of money. Mike Tyson was the first nigga getting $30 million to fight. All these dudes was worth hundreds of millions of dollars or $50, $60 million, $100 million. All them niggas is broke right now. So yo, $1 or $2, $3, $4, $5 million ass. I mean, what you expect? Mike Tyson was getting banked since he was a kid, since he was a teenager. He broke. So what you think your $2, $3, $4, $5 million ass is doing? See, Bud looked like he real humble with his money. You know, but Crawford, Errol Spence is going around with the chains, and Javante Tank Davis going out with the chains. You got Adrian Broner in the pay. I mean, what type of nigga? Real talk. We gonna have a real conversation here, man. What type of nigga get on a payment plan for some fucking jewelry? If I can't afford it, I don't need it. Broner has the personality of a star, but not the skills of a star. Exactly. I mean, like, dude, like, you see all the, like, that's what I don't understand with musicians, man. You know, with music acts, you see all these dudes before you getting fucked by the music industry. Why you ain't smart enough? Why are these niggas still signing 360 deals? Why are these musicians still buying chains out here with chains and jewelry, but they broke? They broke. I don't get it. You see what happened to TLC New Edition? Out here looking famous but broke. Exactly. They want to be rappers, and rappers broke. Your average rapper, look here, man. Your average rapper today, they can't show you $1 million in cash. They ain't got it. They ain't got $1 million in cash. Niggas say when Tupac got shot up at the studio, wherever the fuck they was at, he said, man, that nigga was broke. He was broke. He had got shot up because he was mad because somebody owed him some money for a song that he did. This nigga was broke. Biggie, he ain't had no money. These dudes was out here rapping with no money. That's why Jay-Z took so long to pop, because Jay-Z wanted ownership. He wanted to own his masters. He wanted to own his shit. That's why they didn't want to let Jay-Z on. He was smarter than everybody else. Can you explain why if the fuck Triple G will fight Canelo in Mexico, that's career suicide? Big drama, so he think he from Mexico. It's Mexican style. He gonna get beat regardless. He in it for the check. Labels get all the money. They give you in advance. They give you, I say they give you 500,000, $1 million for an advance. It ain't a gift. It ain't a signing bonus. It's an advance. It's an advance. That means we gonna advance and get our advance. They gonna recoup that advance. Oh, we paid. It was advance for studio time, producers, recording, the engineer, mixer, all them. That's money they gonna get back. So they give you all that money for an advance, but they gonna get that shit back. They gonna recoup all that back, and only money you gonna get, they gonna recoup it back. And now it's called streams. It used to be called albums. Units move. They gonna recoup that in units, where they gonna recoup it in streams. You gross $1 million in streams. You only see 100,000 of that. Probably that. That's before taxes, and they get 900,000 of your streams basically. 900,000. You made $1 million. You only get 100,000 because they gotta recoup that advance. And then after they get the advance, they're not gonna tell you. Then they're gonna put interest on the advance. They gave you high interest on the advance. So your whole contract, you ain't making no money off an album. You don't make money off your next contract or your next album, depending on how your deal go. And really, you just getting show money. You just getting tour money. Every little show you do, you getting tour money. So whatever money they do got, they getting tour money. And then what happened with the tour money is this. Okay, you made $1 million on tour, right? He made $1 million on tour, and they probably don't even make that. But guess what? You forgot to have your accountant. Take the taxes out, because Uncle Sam don't take taxes out like he take your 9-to-5 check out. Unless you're in 1099, Uncle Sam take your taxes out. Oh, you didn't report that you made $1 million on tour in 2010. It's 2017. Well, we gonna need that. Okay, we need 30% of that. That's 300,000. Interest gonna take that up by shit. High interest gonna be 20% of that. You gonna go that. So we really gonna need 600,000. They let that bag up for a few years. So 5 years of 600,000. Shit, you up there shit in the millions. $4 million. And about 4, 5, 6 years later, guess what? You don't have $3 or $4 million because your album ain't been hot. You didn't save your money. You tricked off the money your accountant or you should have paid your taxes with. Jadon, what's going on? You done fucked your money up. So they wait till you fucked up. They wait till your career over with and ain't hot no more. And they need their $3 or $4 million with that interest on there. You ain't got it. Because you done flamed out. You done spent jewelry. You try to go melt your jewelry down. It ain't there. They don't give you money for melted down platinum or melted down gold. Sam Cooke, James Brown, Ray Charles, Sam Cooke and Kurt Sugar and James Brown was about to be the first black people to own major distribution in music. No black person has ever owned a major distribution. Sam Cooke and James Brown was about to get it. They killed Sam Cooke. James Brown pulled out the deal after they killed Sam Cooke. Real shit. Real shit. They was about to buy a major distribution deal. They were about to buy the whole distribution. First black-owned people. It's still to this day. In my Deontay Wilder voice. To this day, it still hasn't been a black person that owned a major distribution deal company. Still hasn't been. Puffy, Jay-Z, they don't allow Negroes to do that. And they killed Michael Jackson ass too. Y'all see what's going on with Kevin Hart? JMJ 2121. Y'all see what's going on with Kevin Hart? Kevin Hart thought he had crossed over fully. He thought he was the only black entertainer that was gonna come into the game and leave unscathed. Fuck no. Cat Williams told him. Y'all think Cat Williams was really out here doing all that crazy shit? Why y'all think Dave Chappelle went to Africa? Dave Chappelle went to Africa to let the shit die down and make amends and come back. Cat Williams didn't care. I think Cat Williams didn't care. I think Cat Williams in the military too. Don't quote me on that. You know, Cat Williams didn't care, but he cared now. Cat Williams got back in line. He told the truth, but guess what they say when he told the truth? He hating on Tiffany Haddish. He hating on Kevin Hart. Now Kevin Hart won't want some advice because it's about to go downhill for Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart honeymoon phase just started longer. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Hart just had a longer honeymoon. You know, and when he got too high above the Negro gun line, when he passed the Negro gun line trying to do the Oscars, they were like, you know what? Nah. Oh yeah, go subscribe to American Dope. One of the dudes started, or Al Prophet. Al Prophet and American Dope. Subscribe to them channels. You talking about Fat Cat Nichols. You know, you talking about I already forget these dudes' name, man. The ones that was about New Jack City. I don't know. I always forget these dudes' name, man. Shit, it wasn't the Johnson brothers. What the fuck was them niggas' name, man? From Arkansas, bro. I can't remember. I always get these dudes mixed up. You know, they was the first dudes to really start selling crack in Detroit. You had the Curry brothers. And I can't remember exactly. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. Chamber brothers. I always forget them dudes' name. Chambers. If you had the Fat Cat Nichols, Chambers brothers, the Curry brothers. You had Maserati Rick. You had Demetrius Holloway, White Boy Rick. He really wasn't shit but a snitch. YBI. Bush Jones was kind of running with them. He had got, man, like the Detroit underworld is like sick, bro. When you talking about New York, got some good stories. You talking about the Hooper guy, Carlton. I forget his first name. You got Pee Wee Kirkland. You got Nicky Barnes. You got the dude from American Gangster. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. Frank Lucas. But you know the real dude to talk to was Pee Wee Kirkland. Yeah, man, White Boy Rick wasn't shit, but a snitch. He was a federal snitch. Yeah, he's still in jail. You know, you looking at Pee Wee Kirkland is the one that tell you the real. He said Frank Lucas wasn't getting no blue magic for no career. He said that was a whole lie. You know, you talking about Alpo, Rich Porter. I knew a dude that grew up with Rich Porter and them. He showed me how to work out when I first started lifting. Bumpy Johnson, that's who Frank Lucas was, basically his right man's hand. Bumpy Johnson kept going to jail though, bro. I watched the documentary on him. In the summertime, I would just sit. I'd be off on the summertime or the springtime. I just sit and watch documentaries on that shit. That's better than TV. No, he wasn't messed over by the feds. He stopped being a snitch. He wanted to go sell real dope. That whole movie was a lie. He wanted to go be a real dope star and got caught and didn't know what he was doing. Oh, you talking about the Hitman? Oh yeah, boom, yeah. He had caught White Boy Rick in jail. Was it White Boy Rick he caught in jail? It had to be White Boy Rick. I think he caught White Boy Rick in jail. They had a hit out on him because he was snitching on Coleman A. Young, the mayor, and Coleman A. Young was allegedly pushing bricks through Detroit. And a lot of the dope dealers to this day that's still alive that talk about it say they got their first birds from Coleman A. Young, but the hitman Boone was he was a hitman and he was ordered to put a hit out on White Boy Rick. But he had found out some of the guys, I guess, that put the hit out. Don't quote me on this. I'm probably inaccurate. They had killed his brother or somebody. So he turned on them, and White Boy Rick saw him in jail, thought he was gonna kill him. He said, "Man, I'm past that shit. That hit gone off of you." So yeah, you know that. I mean, you got a lot of them dudes that got out. I think the Chamber brothers end up getting out. I think the Curry brothers got out. So a lot of them dudes that came home since then and came home and stashed money away and reinvested. You talking about the lineage. I mean, you talking about New Jack City was based off the Chamber brothers. You talking about the 10 Crack Commandments? That was Detroit. That was the Chamber brothers. Don't drive a loud music. Like you talking like, dude, I can do a whole on my Patreon on my Food for Thought Hood series. Like, go check it out. I did one on the Preacher Crew in New York. The Preacher Crew was former correctional officer, that was a housing correction officer. and this other guy, I can't remember exactly what he did, and they basically was extorting, guys in Brooklyn and Harlem. I mean Bronx and Harlem. They was extorting drug dealers. They was the same team that actually extorted Rich Porter. If you watch Paid in Full, Mitch, it was actually Rich Porter. They the ones that kidnapped his nephew and cut his finger off and left it in McDonald's. Now, you actually got to go see the real version of Paid in Full, the documentary they got. His sister tells everything, how it happened, how they called the police and kind of messed up the whole thing. And right around that time, that is true. Like Paid in Full is like pretty much they messed up the story. It's a big lie. It's a big lie basically towards the end. And basically what happened was that Alpo, basically said that Rich had lied to him about the birds. And I got it in my Hood series thing. I got it in my Hood series playlist, but I took my Hood series and Food for Thought playlist and put it on Patreon. That tier is only $5. I got a $2 tier as well too. And Mike James 616. And what happened was that he lied and he basically told everybody that Rich had been overpricing him for the birds, which a lot of people said he was lying about. And he said he was lying about that. He just killed them for the work. And when he killed them, it was nobody to pay the ransom for Rich and nephew, and they killed Rich and nephew. So the Preacher Crew was the one that extorted him. The Preacher Crew also, it's on my Patreon. I did this one. It's all in one video. The Preacher Crew also kidnapped Bobby Brown over a dope debt. It was $500,000, I believe it was. And Whitney Houston brought the $500,000 down to where they wanted to and got Bobby out. So yeah. So I don't know about Papa Joe. I don't really know about Ohio. I just know niggas in Detroit used to go down to Cincinnati and Cleveland to get it in, bro. Real shit. Until Cincinnati and Cleveland got their shit together and start working as one. You know what I'm saying? When you see In Too Deep, it was really like dudes coming from other cities, really coming into Cincinnati and Ohio, really cleaning up until Ohio niggas got they shit together. That's what it really was. Now you had niggas that was getting money and wasn't about the game, but for the most part, it was a lot of dudes coming to Ohio getting it in. Same thing with DC. In New York, you had niggas from New York coming down DC thinking shit was sweet. That's where Alpo came from. Alpo succeeded Rayful Edmonds in DC as the man. He had met Alpo. I mean, Alpo had met Rayful Edmonds before he went in. Now, if you don't know who Rayful Edmonds is, he was one of the biggest dope dealers in American history. He was worth $400 to $500 million before he went to jail. They had to get him they wanted to get him so bad. They put his mom in jail, for conspiracy. They locked his mom up. His mama didn't snitch. He was the most dangerous man on the East Coast. The only guy that ever stepped to Rayful Edmonds was John Thompson, the Georgetown's head coach. I say the R. Kelly shit for Patreon. I'm not gonna get into that, but Big Meech was the realest legend to touch dog with Meech in Houston. Yeah, he from Detroit. His brother was low key Terry, but they had more on Terry than they had Big Meech. They said Big Meech actually could have beat it, but he copped for 20. They said he could have beat it. Big Meech was more flamboyant, more showy. He had the billboard, the world is ours. Terry didn't have all that. Terry was just sloppy. Rayful Edmonds, dude, you looked at that nigga wrong. He was dropping you. He was selling the dope on the pig Latin off the phone. Go watch the Rayful Edmonds story, bro. They say part 1 and 2. It's only one big ass part that I found. They locked his mama up, bro. They wore a wire, and his mom was talking about the shit, and she didn't know. They had a friend set him up, like, dude, they was all cold. And he still was selling birds and the dope. They consider it, let me end on this too, before I get off. They consider him a snitch. And I'm going to tell you this, man. They consider him a snitch. Now, tell me if this snitching or not, right? I'm going to give you 2 before I get off here, man. Tell me if this snitching, right? You go to the pen, right? You toss some stuff off the phone. So you telling people where to pick it up at, right? And Rayful Edmonds was cool with Griselda Blanco's sons. So they was tossing him to work in jail. They was setting it up through jail, tossing his homeboys to work. His homeboys would go to the spot, pick up the bag, but guess what? They'll never send the kickback back. So it got to the point where, basically, if they basically getting the birds for free and it's falling on Rayful Edmonds, he in the prison. So Rayful Edmonds set the people up who was taking the money from him. Real talk. He set them up. They'll go pick the money up, and I guess the feds would bash him. But remember, He was setting them up with the work, but they wasn't paying the kickback back. So Griselda Blanco's son was like, they had a good relate. Like, man, your people ain't paying back. They ain't paying up. So Rayful will set them up. So when they go pick the work up, since they ain't paid the last 2 or 3 times, however many times it was, they wouldn't pay. They show their defense to pull them over. So real talk. So how's that? No, he's not a snitch. How is you a snitch? How's you a snitch? I don't understand. How's that being a snitch? That's like you catch somebody robbing your house. That's like, a lot of people will throw that snitch. A lot of people will throw that snitch word around, but that's like somebody robbing your house. You see them rob your house, you don't tell the police. They keep robbing your house. They keep robbing your house. You don't tell the police. In this case, they taking the work. They taking the work. He can't kick the money back to the plug. So the plug is going to threaten to kill him or kill his family. So these dudes is getting, I ain't talking about 2, 3 chickens, bro. We talking about dude was getting the chickens by thousands. You talking about getting the chickens by 1,000. So you giving out 500, 1,000 birds and ain't nobody paying back on it. But all of a sudden, I'm a snitch because this time you go pick the work up since you ain't paid the first 5 or 6 times. The feds bust you. How am I a snitch? How am I a snitch? He ain't no snitch. How hard is it? I'm fronting you 10, 15 birds. How hard is it for you to kick that money back? Come on. Yeah, I heard that as well too. Detroit versus everybody. I heard that. When you in jail, I mean, I guess that's what dudes like. You know, real talk. But how am I a snitch? Real talk. How am I a snitch? Same thing with Nicky Barnes. He go to jail, right? He go to jail, and I'm gonna leave on this one. All right. He go to jail, right? And your wife and as far as they had a coalition or something, where if one guy go to jail, you pay his lawyer fees, pick him up, and then pretty much they get it in, whatever it may be. So he go to jail, and his whole coalition start fucking his wife, driving his cars, running through his house. He snitch on everybody because obviously they stop paying his lawyer fees, they start fucking his wife, they start passing her around, they start driving all his cars, going through his house. So at the end of the day, like, I'm supposed to be quiet and go to jail and die slow in the prison cell while y'all niggas fucking me over on the outside. Like, no, nigga, please. Like, nigga, like, no. No. Now, what Frank Lucas did, that was snitching, even though he was snitching. He was snitching on cops, everybody, because he went down. So you can't misuse snitch. But when you talking about Detroit, then Our Prophet is the place to go. No, you talking about Al Prophet, a hell of a started American, I think it was American Gangster he started, man. It only got a few episodes. They show how Blade Icewood and how he died, and he was a rapper / dope dealer in Detroit. It's super thick. 110 names. So, it is what it is, bro. That's just how they playing it, bro. That's like, if they play you like, dude, you're supposed to sit there and die in my jail cell, and fuck that, man. You out your mind. Like, I told people, like, dude, look here, man. I told niggas this before. And before I even get in my car when I was younger, like, look here. If you do something stupid, dude, I'm not taking the rap for you, bro. Now, if we all into it and we go do some shit, even though I was never that type of dude, we go do something, do some stupid shit, and I get caught. No, I'm not snitching on nobody. Now, if you riding in my car and you got paraphernalia, a burner on you, or if you go out there and rob somebody and you hop in my car, bruh, please believe me, you best to go ahead and cop, because I'm telling, I'm not taking the rap for no nigga out here. You could threaten to kill me, or hey, you better kill me when you see me, because I'm not doing no hard time for no shit I ain't did before. I'm not going down for nobody. And if you see me, if it's about gunplay, let it be about gunplay. Let it be about gunplay. I mean, you can go to Detroit all day. I mean, like I said, Fat Cat Nichols, Chamber Brothers, Curry Brothers, Demetrius Holloway, Maserati Wick, YBI, Bush Jones. Like, pretty much, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not taking no charge at all, bro. Not at all. Remember my cousin, he was out in Inkster and shit. Him and his best friend. And this is pretty much where their relationship turned. They got pulled over, and his friend, had a sack on him. He threw the sack in his lap. I'm like, dog, I would have killed that nigga, bro. I ain't know that shit to years later, bro. Like years later. So you know what I'm saying? So you can just go deep. And think about the dudes that didn't make the headlines, the dudes that stayed low key. I know dudes that stayed low key that turn their money into property and moved away and they never been caught. I know dudes that still got like 6-figure jobs that still I know that still push it. You know, to this day, they still push it, but with 6-figure jobs. When you talk about the biggest companies in America, you know, you talk about Coca-Cola and other companies, it was said that they was funded by dope. Like a lot of companies was upstarted by dope. You know, you had drug dealers that started cleaners that gave people startup business money. You know what I'm saying? You had guys like that. Like I was listening to Emret. He had the homie Gene on. He said a story about how Alpo gave somebody money to start their business up. And Alpo is a Rico and paid in full. Now if you really before I get off, you really want to hear some shit, search him up. He got out of jail. And he got some stories inside and out of jail about how man, this dude was ruthless. Ruthless. I mean to the T. You know, you talk about the real freeway Rick Ross. I mean, you could just talk about. And what's so funny about it is that when you go under, right? Hey, when you go in the pen, like my barber, he went into the Fed joint. Like all these niggas know of each other or know each other. You know, he moved from West Virginia or some shit like that to Oklahoma, and he had homeboys waiting on him. You know, that's just what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna hop up here, man. Appreciate everybody for jumping on. Don't forget the Patreon account, man. You want more talk like that? Check my Patreon account. I move the hood series and my food for thought talk to there. It's $5. Hardcore boxing is $2 on Patreon as well. You know, don't forget our sponsor, the Health Blaze. You know, good natural products. The website promo code the 18% off is in the description. Y'all know what the business is. Y'all know what it is.